Quick, graph y equals the quantity of the opposite of x squared by hand 2 different ways, and decide if the squaring function is even, odd, or neither. This is part of the family of functions series. You will need graph paper or download this PDF and print it. Press pause as needed anytime during this video. The first way is with what we call the parabola dance. Normally we start at the origin, and since the opposite of 0 is 0, we will still begin at the origin. Because of the opposite sign in front of x, we need to take the opposite of the number before we square it. So we will go right 1 up 1, because the opposite of 1 is -1, and -1, the quantity squared, is 1. Similarly, the opposite of 2 is -2. When you square -2, you get a +4. Opposite of 3, -3. -3, the quantity squared, is 9. Now we could use symmetry to go on the other side, or we could again take the opposite of -1 is +1, square that is 1, left 2 up 4, left 3 up 9, and connecting the points and comparing that to the parent function, you can see that they are identical. Now, since f of the opposite of x is equal to f of x for all values of x in the domain of this function, we say that this function, f of x equals x squared, is an even function. That's the definition of an even function. Let's look at a second way using a table. So here are 5 points we usually use when graphing a parabola. And so we're going to keep the x coordinates the same, but we have to take the opposite of them and then square them. So the opposite of 2 is -2, squared is +4. And so we'll plot 2, 4. When x is 1, the opposite's -1, the quantity squared is 1, 1, 1. 0's opposite is itself, so the origin. The opposite of -1 is +1, squared is 1, plot -1, 1. And the opposite of -2 is +2, squared is 4, -2, 4. Connect the points, and again compare to the parent function. Since f of the opposite of x is equal to f of x for all values of x, again we call this an even function.